wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. Pile number 43, and I'm super excited to be with you guys. As always, we're going to dive into the love of the community, then talk about what's happening on SwissBorg Network with the launch of new tokens, the launch of price alerts, and of course, our CHSB token that is flourishing on a daily basis. As you guys know, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder, CEO of SwissBorg, but always here to serve you. Question of the week, what's coming from Renan Castro. Hey, Benji Borg, are they planning to convert small balance to CHSB? Are we going to be removing that dust? It's a bit annoying to see, especially if you're perfectionists, such as I am sometimes. And how can we convert this into CHSB? Same for the yield, same for essentially the whole dust, and obviously a great way for people to have a cleaner, let's say, balance sheet or cleaner wallet. Long term, so unfortunately, it's not going to happen yet. The reason is that actually to do this is it asks a lot of work, more than we think, and it could be useful for you, could be useful for the SwissBorg network, but there's so many more things that are more important at this stage. So we won't be doing this anytime soon, but of course it will eventually come sooner or later. SwissBorg Accelerators 7 layers tournament is here, ready to build. Crew 3, as you guys know, we've been using Crew 3 a lot. It's a great way for us to communicate. It's a great way for us to challenge. It's a great way to put in place our meritocratic system, which we like so much at SwissBorg. There's been from 1,000 to 10,000 people playing these different quests, engaging with the whole tournament, ornaments, and premium tiers, and a lot of different things. This time, it's even more important about the layers. We'd already talked about the payment and spending layers last time. We talked about the best execution layer, and the third layer is all about the earn. We won't talk about this today because we have to focus on really cool things. But if you don't have Crew 3, please get into it. It's one of our great retention growth tools as well. So let's make it fun, let's make it fair, and let's make it community-centric. Talking about community-centric and lovely people, Rui is a really wonderful person. If you haven't met him online, I'm pretty sure you have met him actually physically. He's coming to all our different events in Switzerland or in Geneva, and came to the office multiple times and elsewhere. So merci Rui for all what you're doing. You are really a great legend with us, and let's make more Ruis going forward, especially I think so that next month there's gonna have a lot of cool events too. Talking about really cool events, there's a lot of things happening where SwissBorg is gonna represent and be represented. Tomorrow there's a community meetup in the Valais with CryptoPhil. Thank you, CryptoPhil, always bringing us so much love at La Bodega. There is the Smart Cafe happening in Spanish as well tomorrow. It's going to be very, very exciting. Community Fribourg is going to happen on November 16th. So the following week, we will have at that same day actually a really cool thing with Max and Marco and Benji, and with the Web3 and finance studies at the University of Geneva. This is going to be a great way to grow the community in Geneva. I think so what's happening is that Paula as well is going to be in Istanbul at the Blockchain Week and the Middle East Investment Summit as well. So a lot of things exciting and much more to come in the month of December. Big announcement of the week. Joe, I think so. It's a new kid in town. You guys probably know Joe. Joe has been one of the main DeFi app for Avalanche. Joe, what is really good is Trader Joe, of course. It's essentially, as you can see here, it's a DEX. But not only, there's as well different pools. These different pools enable you to stake and get very actually nice yields. Farming, pretty much the same thing, could boost it. They have as well essentially a launch pad, which hasn't really yet done a lot, but hopefully will bring more. There's lending, there's staking, and there is last but not least, There's NFTs that, to be honest, I never really looked in seriously into the JPEGs myself. But long story short, what's quite interesting about Trader Joe is that contrary to Ethereum, or all different other BSC and other different networks, is that Joe is really the platform for Avalanche. So if you have Avalanche tokens, this is the decentralized application for essentially DeFi. Strongly recommend this token if you believe in Avalanche network. So Trader Joe, as you guys know, it's been launched recently, right? It's not a very old token, and at all-time high, it was at $4.50. Today, we're trading at 20 cents. So that is quite a substantial drop, as you guys can notice, over 90% drop here. So there's definitely upside if it believes to bring more and more assets. At its top, it had actually a total value locked of 4 billion. Today, only at 110 million, which has dropped significantly. But again, if you guys believe that Avalanche has a great position and that Joe has this convenience, this could be a nice, essentially, play for the future. Which I dislike about this project. It's very anonymous, like many of the DeFi ones. It's yeah, and what goes on in most projects, well, then sometimes it could flip, and unfortunately, not really happen to be the winning one. Nevertheless, definitely a very interesting token, and glad to have a very small token because he's just in a top 300, right? So it's going to be extremely volatile. It's a very small market cap, so has a great potential if Joe becomes the trader and becomes the platform for convenience with a one-stop shop and DeFi on Avalanche. Talking about Trader Joe, let's talk about finally the purse alerts for everyone. The 750,000 users will be able to trade in a better way in order to really put their investment goals, their supports, their resistance. And we saw last week actually a lot of great use, and congratulations to yourself that have been trading very well the CHSB and as well BTC and Ethereum. So a lot of these essentially price alerts triggered some orders, not directly itself, but at least the mindsets to really be able to look to these different channels and be able to trade and be more tactical. So congratulations for those who did that. Maybe we could talk about a little bit this next week, how some of you guys have been very profitable recently. What I love here is, yeah, it's just the possibility to envision the future. Like I put one at 1 franc for a SwissBorg token. I put another one at $2, at $3, at $4, at $5, at $6, at $7. I just put a lot of different ones, and just a great reminder whenever it touches it, it'll bring back a lot of joy from my side, which I think so. This is really, really great. And for those who are not using it yet, I really recommend to do that because it's a bit like sending you signals in the future and be able to, yeah, think about it. Like which price we were today, which price are we tomorrow? And based on that, what is your reaction? Should you take some profit? Should you build up your position? Should you lower down your position? There's a lot of great ways to get to build your wealth and do it in a better way, and hopefully automate this to trigger orders going forward. The most exciting part, CHSB increasing in demand. As you guys know, it's been a really nice ride, over 50%, one of the best performing token in the last month or so. And that's a lot to do with multiple different things, which is this virtual loop of always increasing the demand and reducing the supply. Here we see quite clear that on this graph that essentially since the beginning of the year, there's been a very important net buy of SwissBorg tokens, right? Even if the price has not done that well, really seeing more and more accumulation phase, which is very, very, very healthy sign. And this is something that drives a lot. We see here that on these graphs that this is really a great way how you see things growing in terms of utility. So essentially that CHSB is obviously part of the thematics. So there's a buy increase there. You're seeing people that are trading it, but nevertheless, there's always a very nice positive, essentially buy-in, which is very great. You You see that the number of exchanges as well has been steadily growing. These are very always healthy signs as well itself to see the more the volume is, the better it is, and usually. And that even when there's rebalancing, because there's a sell as well of some people getting out of CHSB and buying the thematics, and the rebalancing itself, because that's been outperforming other tokens, all of this is very healthy, even if there's some sell, because I mean, you need some sell to have some buy as well, right? So overall, this is very, very healthy. And which brings me to the next graph, which is very interesting. Alex and a lot of our, token economists, wizards, have put together a very nice, really nice diagram, that enables you to really understand the token economics, the fundamentals of any pump of tokens, right? A lot could come from the noise, but usually the best tokens, such as, for example, BNB, really tries to work on the demand, the supply, and how the community could benefit from that token, and how these different products as well could automate a lot of different ways to essentially increase the demand and decrease the supply. This is really what the whole finance and economics is all about. It's always about finding the right equilibrium between the demand and the supply, and the price is essentially based on that, right? So we could look at here in three different ways: that there's new utility, upcoming utilities, and then potentially the next utilities. And these are the three different colors, right? So on the demand side, we know well what's happening, right? Users constantly buy CHSB to unlock premium memberships, right? That's what, and I think so. Which is very, very important about these premium membership is that it doesn't not only give you utility, it gives you essentially status, which is something very important, which more attached to your digital identity, right? And we've seen that recently, a lot of people are upgrading because of the fact that the CHSB is lower. People have a better purchasing price, so therefore they essentially grow within the network. And congratulations for all those people that did upgrade. Why did they do that as well? Obviously, it's to essentially earn on a yield, to get better yields, to get better voting power, and essentially as well to get less fees, right? And last but not least, people as well do that because they could as well buy because they want to speculate on the SwissBorg token, saying that they'll have a new all-time high, which will be higher than 165 going forward for sure. And these are ways why people essentially buy SwissBorg tokens. Upcoming utilities could be different cool ways with SwissBorg Ventures, for example, and the Launchpad utility. We've seen that with all the data that has been in magazine from our high net worth individual users, and is that people would like to have essentially better ways to get a better service. And for that, they're very more welcome to essentially be able to stake more SwissBorg tokens. So we're really trying to rethink the model as well, the premiums. If you have any comments on that, is like maybe a premium should be based not only on the number of tokens that you stake, but if you have more assets potentially, maybe it's not fair that you only stake, let's say, 20,000 for one standard, right? Maybe you need to stake more based on the AUM that you have, right? And that will enable you to essentially be able to cover your premium. Another thing is that we're thinking is how you could essentially be able to, we're going to have more and more different special vaults for earning. And maybe some of those you'll need to have essentially more SwissBorg tokens in order to deposit more of your assets within it, right? These are different ways. So the idea here is to have a membership, of course, but have as well a pay as you go, and have, a different way of not just saying, okay, I'm a member, but as in a golf or in a gym or whatsoever, you start using your membership, but then there's more additional services and perks that it can enable you essentially to benefit from that if you essentially buy more SwissBorg tokens. So some of you, you're like, anyways, I'd already have a big amount of SwissBorg tokens, so I don't need to buy more. But some of our beautiful users just have 20,000, and they're like, okay, I have enough now. I have a great premium model, and I don't need to buy more. So trying to encourage people to get more and more SwissBorg tokens. On the supply side, we talked about that, but essentially, what is great is that by putting all these people in premium, you're locked for a year. Maybe we'll go for more than a year, maybe going forward. Let's see how things go. And there's of course another way where the supply essentially is blocked into essentially the yield, which is locked into the yield, which gives as well a limit in supply. There's of course other things as well, as you guys know. Um, in terms of automation, I think so. This is very, very, very important. Is that there's always buybacks, right? The buybacks is the protect and choose and the protect and burn as well, which is that 20% of revenues go for this essentially reason, which is very, very good, especially in choppy markets. And the latest, most beautiful utility that's automated, that CHSB token is 10% weighting on our first amazing thematic Web 3.0, which essentially always buys back the token. And essentially, when it's outperforming, it gives, as I explained earlier, a great way to have more volume. And volume essentially then is picked up across different other platforms. And it's a very healthy sign again, which is really, really cool. And going forward, we really tend to add always CHSB in different thematics. So this is going to be a really growing way to essentially bring a lot of buying pressure there. I heard about staking and staking and the different thematics, that some of this would be converted into SwissBorg tokens. There's a lot of cool things that they're not yet on the roadmap, but there are really some cool next utilities, upcoming utilities that could really change strongly this game. And in terms of supply, well, there's a CHSB burn, as you guys already know. And what I just talked about, the rewards just earlier, to essentially have a buy pressure again by making sure that the staking that's done through these different thematics could actually convert into CHSB tokens. Regarding the CHSB and the map itself, there's so much more things that I won't spoil here, but it's really we're trying to figure out more and more ways how the community index, which obviously gives you a yield, but how your behavior within the network could give you potentially a score that could really be your own, and you could hold it and you could be proud of it and earn better through that. So there's so much more to be done, and I'm super, super bullish about today, about tomorrow, and the future of the SwissBorg token is super, super, super bullishly bright. As you guys know, we talked about a lot of time. There's been more and more people that are using essentially the fantastic card deposits. Almost $700,000 have been deposited. Usually the transaction is quite interesting. Is usually 254. A lot coming from Switzerland, France, and Great Britain, like always, the three main countries. But we're seeing more other countries as well. So that is a very healthy sign too. I'm very, very excited to see this. We're seeing a lot of people deposit as well during weekends when essentially banks are closed. So these are not necessarily new users. It's people such as yourself saying, "Oh, actually, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's just deposit maybe and have a trade during the weekend." Because obviously these markets are really usually very busy happening, especially on Sundays. So this is really, really another healthy sign showing that SwissBorg is really growing as an ecosystem. And I can't talk about Earn, but Domen just did a presentation earlier. It was mind-blowing of the new features and the crazy roadmap of what's going to come. So I can't unveil any of that. I promise I wouldn't. But there's so many cool things within all the different squads that we have at SwissBorg. And congratulations to the Galactic Payments. It's really doing great stuff here, and how we're going to open, how we're going to activate users that haven't deposited yet, and how we're going to be able to automate some of these payments going forward like that. People could really do DCA and really cool things going forward. CHSB data, it's been an amazing week. 407, which is really, really, really good. Really proud of this number. The CHSB staked and the yield is pretty much saying 20% increase, which is just phenomenal comparing to the market. 2.2 million in the protect and shoes, which is great. And we have 145,000 plus people in the app that have the SwissBorg token and are part of the lovely community that we are. Which brings us to the question of the week. Community index. Make a guess. Make a guess. Make a guess. It is very, very, very high. 8.9. Amazing. Fantastic. Congratulations to you, and to you. You've done a phenomenal job. This is really the result of hard work from the cards, from the thematics, from the new utilities, the CHSB, the fact that we're growing as an ecosystem. It is hard times, but to have an 8.9 score right now, when the biggest exchanges are in trouble, it shows again how resilient SwissBorg is. And this is a beautiful, strong signal to the market that SwissBorg does it the right way. What an ending, guys. 8.9, fantastic community index. That means that you'll YODL extremely well on the SwissBorg token. Another week with a very great amount of shipping. It's just been phenomenal this last month or so with pumped over. And now it's going to be bullish November. And December is going to be, I don't know, Christmas. Yeah. So these last months and these next months are very strong for SwissBorg, very strong for you guys. I really want to really thank you. And as I always say, you know, we always enjoy the tip of this iceberg, but what's being built underneath is gigantic, it's phenomenal. And it's something that, we have that extra wool thanks to you guys, thanks to our loving community that, yeah, makes that big change. A change that could bring hope, bring dreams, and with hard work, well-thought people, green hearts and laser eyes, like always, we're able to flourish and make this world greener and better and stronger. As always, guys, be wealthy, be healthy, and love our CHSB. Take care, guys. Bye.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you 0 fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.
For some, love is a strong feeling. What if you could send it in a... from point A to point B? 0 borders, 0 time, 0 fees. For us, love is sending crypto. Just send it. Now with SmartSend. Engineered in Switzerland by SwissBorg.